This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. With me, promoter Eddie Hearn. Eddie, just witnessed a brutal fourth-round knockout from Conor Benn. Talk to me about that performance. Devastating.
Yeah, devastating, but so pleasing in so many different ways. You know, the movement, the footwork, the way he set up the right hand. It's very rare to get an arena standing up clapping when a guy is making someone miss. And you know, they're knowledgeable fight fans up here, but what they saw tonight was a world-class welterweight. And you know, I know he's a favourite against Algieri, but to go in there and brutalise him like that with a knockout, that's how you become a star. You know, that's watched by millions of people around the world. You don't become a star by going in and fiddling around over 12 rounds and boring people to sleep. You go in by putting in a performance like that.
He came in tonight and he had such a sense of calm. Oscar was telling me, he was backstage beforehand saying, I don't feel nervous at all. And Algieri looked huge in there, but how impressed were you with how well he was able to impose himself?
He said that to me in the change room after the fight. He said, I didn't have any nerves. He said, that's because you're getting used to being in this environment. You know, when we progress the career of a fighter, you put them in a lot of different situations that enable them to feel like that when they hit the big stage. You know, you box them internationally, you box them on huge stadium shows. You know, you box them at the start of the night, you know, close to the main event. You float them. And that's what Conor Benn's gone through. He's gone through all those different nights. So now when he walks out, he doesn't feel nervous and when you're composed, you can put performances in like that. And it was a fantastic performance.
I appreciate it's Conor Benn that puts in the hard work in the gym, crushing it in the gym, but how much credit does Tony Sims deserve for the work he's done?
Yeah, I mean, look, I just said at the press conference, didn't I? I remember the skinny kid who walked out at the debut at the O2. He was all over the place. All he had was heart, an edge, and jeans. Not denim jeans. And what Tony has done, and you know, it's the two of them combined. Tony has done such a brilliant job with him, but Conor has listened, he's learned, he's put in so much work. And you know, when he broke his jaw at the start of his career, in sparring, he just spent the whole time in the gym for whatever it was, 9 months or whatever. You know, he's never out of the gym. He's so focused, so dedicated. So those two are a brilliant combination.
We've heard the Brook winner, we've heard Broner, we've heard Ugas, we've heard all kinds of names post-fight. What would be your top pick if you could choose?
I love the Broner fight because I think that I think he's great. I think he's hilarious. I think he's a big draw. You know, I would have loved the Khan fight, but if anyone, I do not believe anyone believes that Amir Khan could beat Conor Benn. If Conor Benn hit Amir Khan, you'd see exactly the same as what happened to Algieri tonight. One shot, that's all it takes. It's over, that fight. And they, you know, Amir doesn't. They don't want the young. The young smoke is horrible. Virgil Ortiz, Boots Ennis. I even start to put Conor Benn in that category now, and those guys are tremendous fighters. And I think Conor's maybe one fight away from that bracket, but horrible, spiteful, you know, just big punchers and devastating punchers that want to go in and do damage. And they're horrible to fight, and Conor's right in that list.
Just to skate through the rest of the card, Katie Taylor, Joe Cordina, Robbie Davis Jr. Who impressed you tonight?
I mean, outside of Conor, there was a couple of good performances. Kevin Agyarko, I thought, was brilliant. And a good fighter in Larios Jr. You know, guy 14-0, come over well-schooled from Texas. Yeah, and unbelievable chin. But Agyarko, he was just, for the first couple of rounds, just trying to impress a little bit too much. But exciting, spiteful again. You know, Joe Cordina, you know, trying a bit too hard to get that guy out of there. He was actually a good fighter as well. Robbie Davis, big win. You know, Hank Lundy, who I know people say, oh, he's old Hank Lundy. Hank Lundy just went 10 rounds with lost on points to Cepeda 6-7 months ago. Cepeda's brutalising everyone. So that was a big win for Robbie Davis Jr. Peter McGrath, fantastic, great talent. Callum French, great debut as well. Jordan Gill, just a nightmare for him again, but it's a top of the head cut, so he should be fine. Paddy Lacey looked great as well, and Joe McGrath, good debut. Katie Taylor, you know, hard to rise to the levels when you're not against the levels. You know, you're fighting a mandatory challenger that's not as good as you, but she was rugged, and it was a workmanlike performance to get the job done and move forward to the Serrano fight.
Last one, Eddie. Sonny Edwards won this evening, called out Julio Cesar Martinez. Eddie Reynoso took to Twitter and said, easy work for my boys. That fight you're going to try and make?
Yeah, it's a great fight. You know, we have to unify ASAP for Martinez because he's running out of time at flyweight. He's not going to be able to make flyweight much longer. and it would be a bit of a disaster if with as good as he is, if he didn't unify.
Eddie Hearn, thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.